you are in contact with a lot of people in India and also the Indian community in Australia. What's their response at the moment? Does it vary? Where is the anger directed towards?
I think currently the situation is in India is very, very difficult. People are dying on the street, no oxygen, hospital, there's no doctors. But it's just a situation right now is unacceptable. And from the anger of the community, I believe that the statement coming from the Prime Minister during this tough time, this is actually not acceptable. And there's a lot of anger in the community.
So that anger, I mean, a lot of countries have shut off India, but it's the citizens is the next level Australia's taken, that even Australian citizens in India can't get back. Is that why there's a special concern with the Australian-Indian relationship?
I definitely believe that if we can't protect our own Australian citizen, then why and how we actually gonna, make this things work? And I think, believe me or not, that what exactly happening, I think the failing quarantine program, this is actually the biggest problem. I think Prime Minister or the government should work on what exactly happened in the New South Wales in July back in the travel lodge. So there is some loophole that the quarantine system need to be improved. And in Indian community right now is more about that discrimination, racism, but I strongly agree it's not about discrimination and racism. But first thing we need to prioritize that how we can get our own people, Australian citizen, back home safe.
You actually work with the Australian government, you have before, in helping them connect with Indian communities. I assume that would also be on, it could be in the future on things to do with confidence in the vaccine. We know migrant communities are a target there. Is this job going to be harder now, connecting them?
I definitely believe this bilateral relationship, we actually try to, connect the government between India and Australia, but this will actually affect definitely because this type of statement coming from the Prime Minister only for India, that people have that mindset and they just don't believe that they put India on the spotlight during the tough time where you actually promising and doing actually help and sending the medicine, the craft and everything. But this statement is make very disheartened people. People are contacting us back in India and they keep telling us that why the Australian government is actually treating us like we don't deserve to be in Australia.
It sounds, as if that frustration is there and perhaps partly it's the rhetoric. Can I just ask you finally and briefly though, what about anger towards Prime Minister Modi? He seemed to declare mission accomplished on COVID. He was still holding massive rallies. He refused to cancel a religious festival that brought millions together. I mean, he's been at the wheel of a disastrous response here.
I think this type of time, I think when there is a world is fighting, it's not only pandemic is facing India, I think the world is facing. So leaders' responsibility, they should come up and lead in a way that they can represent the government, the public, and they explain that this type of rallies, you should not participate. Firstly, I believe they should not have election this time, and there is a different election in the villages and the regional as well. So why this is the time to do the election? And it's this current situation is actually going beyond the hands. Is more than 300,000 cases. India is actually getting again and again. Then there's an election. When you lose, when you win, again there's a East Bengal, West Bengal have won the election. There's a gathering. So people need to understand. I think we as Australian have prioritized that the quarantine system and we actually need to understand that we can actually manage the social distancing, wearing the mask that have actually very fast in Indian community as well.